Mississauga Blues and Roots Association?
Chief bottle washer.
That's where he is.
And their entertainment director and founder, treasurer, driver, what else am I?
I do all that stuff. I do everything. Mississauga Blues and Roots Association. What else you got on there?
I got that Daddy's Little Girl.
Yep.
By the Johnny Max Band.
Heard of them?
Yeah, and it's a long road. Won the International Songwriting Competition Blues Song of the Year in 2010. So the key here is you've got an all-rounded performer here that probably carries your own stuff.
I carry my own gear.
And performs and writes songs and forms organizations and does radio shows and comes out to speak to Mississaugans about what he does and hopefully share some of those wisdoms.
Yeah,
You've gotten over the
I have
years.
wisdom.
Well, there you go.
I have something.
There you go. Well, I mean, what I'd like to do to start with is one of the questions that I have is, how did this start for you? Where did your love of music come from?
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away on the planet of Tatooine. I came over here from Glasgow, Scotland in 1966, and I think my love of music came from what's now called kitchen parties. They were just called hoolies at my place. So you get all the aunts and uncles who weren't actually ever related to you, who were the ones who were actually allowed to hit you if you got out of line. Those days have changed now. But those are your aunts and uncles, and on a Saturday night, it's in Glasgow it's actually called a piss up. In Ireland it's called a hoolie, and then you just have yourself a big sing song. So you'd have everyone sitting around in a circle, and you'd hear things like, one singer, one song, hey, hold on, wish Jimmy singing, hey, it says Paddy P, so you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you'd have that'd go on till 6, 7 in the morning.
Were you in a band back then?
No, I got into music really late band-wise. I was 35 when I started the band.
So old.
I know, I had creaky knees. I was in a couple bands, but through high school and stuff like that, there was always friends' bands, and I don't play anything. So I'm either the singer or I'm the guy loading gear. And there's nothing to that. So I mean, I didn't learn how to sing, and some people still think I don't know how to sing, but I didn't start really singing in front of a band until I was 30. I know we did a couple friends had bands and stuff like that, but once I started the original Johnny Max band, which was somebody else's band, I started going out getting the gigs, because apparently I can talk. Apparently I like the sound of my own voice. So.
Now, was this a full-time thing? When did you start doing it more full-time?
Full-time, it was, I think we started, the band was a weekend band, 93, 94. I quit my job. I was earning, as a musician, about $800 a week.
That you have respect for all forms of music.
Oh yeah.
So, but when I'm looking here, we got the blues, we've got the Southern soul, we've got gumbo, R&B, and boogie, and all this. Talk to us a little bit about what all these terms mean and how you work them into your music and into your songwriting. And yeah.
Here's what I think about music. There's two types of music. Some people don't like me saying this. Get this on camera, Louisa. There's two types of music. Good music and a crap your kids listen to. That's it. So you hit a certain age and you go, I don't like that because that's what my kids listen to. That's just an age thing. Everybody knows what good is. Everybody. I say this to bar owners and venue owners. All we're going to give you is good music. Doesn't matter if it's blues or soul or bebop or barbershop or classical. People don't like music done poorly. Everybody likes, I defy anyone to not like Loretta Lynn, or to not like George Jones, or to not like Vivaldi, or to not like Chopin. I have approximately 4,000 albums at home. They're all my collection. Way before I was doing radio, it's all mine. And nobody's album collection or record collection is one genre of music. There is nobody. These two young kids over here, their music on their iPods and that, I bet you it's not all hip-hop. I bet you it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and a little bit of this. Everybody's the same.
To characterize Johnny Max and the band in terms of the
Johnny Max is an idiot.
It took me a long time to realize that your last name was different than Max.
My name's a nickname.
Yeah, I hear you. So how would you then, other than saying that it's good music, characterize the sound that comes from the Johnny Max?
Oh, from the, well, our sound has amalgamated. We started off as a 12-bar blues band, so Chicago blues. So Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Jimmy Reed, Jimmy Rogers, Straight Ahead Blues, My Baby, Woke Up This Morning, My Baby Left Me, Woke Up This Morning, My Baby Left Me, Woke Up This Morning, My Baby's Gone. Stuff like that. It's great. I love it. I absolutely adore it. But I know I'm not going to be like Muddy Waters or Howlin' Wolf or Jimmy Reed. So you take that, then you listen to some Sam Cooke, some Ray Charles, and some Otis Redding, and some Al Green, and stuff like that. And you put that stamp on it, because I'm slightly younger than the guys I played with at the time. Now I'm the old guy. But I was 10, 15 years younger than these guys. These guys, when we first started, were all straight ahead, like long-time blues musicians. And my influences started coming through Beatles harmonies and writing differently, and writing songs, funny songs that we started writing. And we amalgamated more R&B, because the Toronto sound in the 60s and 70s growing up was all R&B based. It was all rhythm and blues as opposed to R&B. And it had a big Detroit influence in Toronto in the 60s and through Mississauga as well, where you had show bands coming up and playing all up Spadina, and they'd go all up to Bala and Yorkville, and they'd all come through here. Now Mississauga, I don't think had big places to play, but you know, certainly the musicians who used to go into Toronto and see these guys play. What have I learned? I just learned that it's a hard road to hoe. It's a hard road to hoe is what the term is. I've never worked so hard in my life. I mean, I was a truck driver for 20 years. And trying to get gigs and trying to convince people that what we do as artists is good. Trying to convince a bar owner or a venue owner that original music is what you should put on.
And they should pay you.
And pay you decent, because the thing you get there is, well, you know, it's good exposure. Here's the term in Canada. Musicians in Canada die from exposure. You know, everybody wants you to play for free, because they don't put any value in the art. And the biggest detriment to that are the artists themselves, who turn around and play for nothing. Artists if you're a visual artist, you don't play for nothing. If you're a painter, you generally don't do anything for nothing. But musicians, for some reason, everybody says, look, I got 50 friends coming over who want to play for free. And here's my problem with it. This is what I learned doing this. The lighting guys getting paid. And I'll tell you a story. I got asked to do a fundraiser for the Canadian Cancer Society. And I was on the phone with a guy. It was a long distance call. I was on the phone with a guy, and the guy says, do you want to play this, it's a Friday between 5 and 6, we're looking for a band. I said, sure. What's the money? Well, there's no money. And I thought, okay. Everybody's registering. That's all right, we'll play. People don't know who we are. Put a little banner up, have my business cards, and we can sell CDs. He says, oh, no, you can't sell any merchandise. I said, no, we don't allow that. I said, well, what's the deal for me? He says, well, there's great exposure in it. I said, well, what's the exposure if nobody knows who we are? And I can't handle stuff. Well, we'll let them know. I said, hold on a second. Who's paying for all this? Like, you know, the registration was at the Queen Elizabeth building at the CNE. I know now how much that costs to rent.
They're in showcase what they've got, and people are constantly asking them to play for nothing. And I know that when we broker events, and the first question we ask is, what's the budget, and if the budget's zero, then the Arts Council tends to
Yeah. You
pay
can't.
out some money, and no, it's not union, but at least it's trying to show that we respect what they have to do, because the people hiring them, if they could do it,
Yeah.
then they would be doing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as a fellow musician.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's get to your songwriting.
Okay.
What inspires you? And what other musicians, could even be other than musicians, inspire you and get your wheels thinking to come up with that award-winning piece and plus more? How many albums do you actually have?
6 albums.
6 albums.
6 albums. Five original albums. 5 original albums and 1 compilation.
Here's how I go about songwriting. My favorite songwriters are guys like Bobby Charles, who just passed away last year due to complications from Hurricane Katrina. Fats Domino, Beatles, Lennon McCartney, Keith Richards, and then you look at guys like Sam Cooke and Hal Otis Road and Eddie Hinton, another guy that not a lot of people know about. But my favorite writer, 2 favorite writers at the moment, or 3 now, are Delbert McClinton, Gary Nicholson, and Jimmy Hall. And Jimmy Hall used to be in a rock band called Wet Willie. And I don't know what it is about songwriting, but it's telling a story. So, being Scottish, of Irish descent, we love telling a story. We love a middle and a beginning and an end. The end, and the facts don't have to be involved at all. They can absolutely help. You shouldn't have any factual information in the least.
It's coming out of Humber. Fantastic musicians. They have no idea how to get a gig. They haven't been around as long as, my career started because I had friends of mine like Rod Phillips, rest his soul, Virgil Scott, Chuck Jackson, Pat Carey, Fawn Farah, all these guys who said, "I'd like you, come here," and showed me. So my growth was 7 years of 4-nighters and 3-nighters and going out and grinding it, playing to a bunch of drunks, playing to people who have no interest in what you're doing whatsoever. Kids, these guys, these 20-somethings, don't have that. Where do you play? And that we were talking earlier, this is the problem with Canadians, and here's my pessimistic hat. Canadians do not support anything Canadian unless there's a hockey stick in that person's hand. We don't support the arts. We want other people to do it, which is government agencies. And you get people like yourselves and these ladies over here who are just begging governments for money, and the governments are saying, we have to look after our budgets. If you don't look after your sanity, then budgets don't mean nothing. If you just want to sit there and work and be an accountant for 80 hours a week, go ahead. Nobody wants to hang out with you. You need art, you need culture, and we have to get a concerted effort to have people understand that. It's not about money. So the advice I would give, if there is advice, is just go out there and grind it out. As I was saying about the kids, coming out of Humber, there's no place for them to play. So they play for nothing. That's what happened to the jazz scene in Toronto. Toronto used to be one of the top 5 jazz places, jazz cities in North America. It's got 2 bars, and one you pass the hat at. 2, and the other bar, you can go see any American actor. How's that for pessimism?
Well, unfortunately, it's the truth.
It's my truth. Always get us to our website, johnnymaxband.com. I am on the air every single week at, not actually on the Hayes FM, Mississauga's own radio station, with a great morning show, but I am on one of their sister stations, bluesandroots.com, which has... They have 9 stations. I'm syndicated on 5 stations in Southern Ontario. I'm working on a deal in the U.S. And we're at bluesandrootsradio.com, again based out of Mississauga. 17 international shows, blues, East Coast, traditional music, roots, jazz, spoken word. No, not indie. No. There's enough of that going around. But so you can hear me that way through the radio show. I do promotions. I'm part of the Mississauga Blues and Roots Association, which puts on, we put on, I think, 11 shows, and we're always looking for members. And I also do a storyteller's night, where I personally put on original, acoustic, and organic music, as I call it, by Juno Award winners. And what it is an evening of music by guys like David Francie, who I stopped to call out to, Danny Marks, Peter Boyd,